offensive players. Oh, man, can't nobody guard that motherfucker today. Mike would grab your face if you tried to jump before him, bro. This nigga would grab your arm. Like, man, listen, man, I'm sorry. I respect every era, and I'm going to keep respecting every era. Y'all need to go back and watch some of that young Mike Jordan. Y'all need to go watch that Mike Jordan who went up against Larry Bird. You know what I'm talking about? That went up against the Pistons. And with physical play, by the way. And was downhill. And when he needed a three, he could hit a three. And he hit game winners. And he came back from 15.
Kevin Garnett just went off on LeBron James and Kevin Durant, and the basketball world has never seen anything like this. The big ticket didn't hold back when he heard what LeBron and KD allegedly said about Michael Jordan in a private conversation that somehow made its way to the internet. And when KG caught wind of it, his response was absolutely nuclear. We're talking about a full-blown war between NBA legends, accusations of disrespect flying everywhere, and a controversy that's threatening to expose the real tension that's been brewing between the old guard and today's superstars. This isn't your typical GOAT debate anymore. This is personal. This is explosive, and the fallout could change how we talk about basketball legacy forever.
And I sat back and I was like, man, tell it like it. Tell it. Tell it. So for those of you who did not hear what Kevin Garnett, and it's long, but I want you guys to listen to every second of it because I believe every single thing he said was on the money. And I need you guys to pay attention to the passion that he spoke with. So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what Kevin Garnett had to say. Put on your seatbelts because this is going to be a doozy right here. And then we're going to come back.
It all started on January 18th, 2025. Just another Friday night, right? Wrong, because that's when everything changed. Someone, and we still don't know who, leaked audio from what was supposed to be a completely private conversation. And the voices on that recording? LeBron James and Kevin Durant. Now, private conversations get leaked all the time in the social media age. We've seen it happen to politicians, celebrities, everyone. But this one was different. Because what LeBron and KD were discussing wasn't just gossip or personal business. They were talking about Michael Jordan. And what they said has caused an absolute earthquake in the basketball community. The audio quality wasn't perfect. It sounded like it was recorded from someone's phone in the same room, maybe at a private event or gathering that hasn't been disclosed to the media yet. But the words were clear enough. LeBron's voice comes through first, and he's talking about Jordan's era, the competition he faced, and, here's where it gets spicy, questioning whether MJ would dominate in today's game the way he did back then. The league was different, man, LeBron allegedly says in the clip. The talent pool, the athleticism, the three-point shooting, it's not even comparable. We're talking about a league that was way less skilled overall. Then KD jumps in, and he takes it even further. According to the leaked audio, Durant suggests that Jordan benefited from playing in an era with weaker competition, and that if you put today's versatile wings and stretch bigs in the 90s, the whole dynasty narrative changes. Within hours, the audio was everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Everyone was posting it, reposting it, dissecting every word. The comment sections turned into war zones. LeBron fans were defending him, saying he was just having an honest conversation. Jordan stans were losing their minds, calling it blasphemy. And KD? Well, people expected this kind of take from him, given his history of getting into debates online. But here's what made this situation go from controversial to absolutely insane. The audio didn't just stay in the usual basketball debate circles. It went viral. Sports analysts, mainstream media, even people who barely watch basketball were weighing in. Because this wasn't just about stats or rings anymore. This felt like a direct attack on the man who most people still consider the greatest to ever do it. And then Kevin Garnett saw it.
Y'all got me fucked up in here, boy. Y'all better put some respect on Mike, man. Boy, stop saying goofy shit, man. That's goofy as hell. Mike Jordan ain't got a bag, P? Man, stop, man.
No, nobody said he didn't have no bag.
Y'all said he had a limited bag.
Because he didn't need a bag. He was so
Definition of bag.
He was so athletic.
Definition
and
of
so
bag.
much better that he could just one dribble pull up on you.
Man. Definition of bag.
I think it has something to do with like you got to take 20 dribbles and get the moves.
If you know anything about Kevin Garnett, you know he doesn't do subtle. The man played with an intensity that scared opponents and teammates alike. He talked trash that would make your ears bleed. And when it comes to basketball history and respecting the legends who paved the way, KG doesn't play. So when Garnett caught wind of the leaked audio on January 19th, his reaction was immediate. He jumped on his podcast, which has become his platform for speaking his mind without any filter, and he let the world know exactly what he thought. "I just heard some stuff that I can't even believe came out of the mouths of people I respect," Garnett said, and you could hear the frustration in his voice right from the start. "We talking about Mike? We talking about the man who defined what it means to be great in this league, and y'all sitting around questioning his competition?" KG wasn't yelling yet, but you could feel it building. He started breaking down why the leaked conversation bothered him so much. For Garnett, this wasn't just about defending Jordan, though he made it clear he considers MJ the undisputed GOAT. This was about something deeper, respect for the game and the people who built it. "When I came into this league, I knew my place," Garnett continued. "I knew I had to earn my respect. I didn't walk in talking about how the generation before me had it easier. I didn't diminish what they accomplished so I could build myself up. That's not how it works." The basketball community started paying close attention, because KG wasn't just some random talking head giving a hot take. He played in Jordan's era. He competed against him. He saw firsthand what made MJ different. And hearing him defend Jordan's legacy with such passion gave his words serious weight. But Garnett wasn't done, not even close. He spent another 20 minutes on that podcast episode breaking down the 90s era, the physicality, the defensive schemes, the hand-checking, all of it. He talked about how zone defense was illegal, which meant isolation players like Jordan faced constant double teams and had to beat defenders one-on-one more than today's stars do. "You think Mike had it easier?" KG asked, his voice rising. "Put him in today's game with the spacing, the freedom of movement, the way refs protect offensive players now. Man, he'd average 40 points a night." The podcast clip went viral immediately. KG trending, Jordan trending, and people started wondering, would he call out LeBron and KD by name? They didn't have to wonder for long.
They're going to put the best stopper
Did
on you.
Shaq have a bag?
Shaq had a bag? Shaq was one all dunks. Shaq had a jump hook, a left.
Dream had a bag.
Fuck out of here. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Shaq dunked the ball majority of the time, but he had a jump hook, he had a left hand, he had a motherfucker, a fadeaway. What you talking about? Dream had moved. Like, bro, you don't even, bro, you just, what are you saying, bro? You all over the spectrum. I'm trying to follow you, but I don't know what you're saying. Mike Jordan, how you?
January 21st, 2025. 2 days after his initial response, Kevin Garnett came back with round 2. And this time, he brought a flamethrower to a fireplace. KG went back on his podcast for an emergency episode, and he was heated. The intro music barely finished before he started talking, and his first words told you everything you need to know about where this was going. "LeBron, KD, we need to have a conversation." The gloves were off. Garnett wasn't dancing around it anymore. He was calling them out directly, and what followed was one of the most intense rants the basketball world has seen from a former player in years. "I've been sitting with this for a couple days, trying to process what I heard," KG said, pacing in the video. "And I gotta say it, what y'all said about Mike was disrespectful. Not just to him, but to everyone who played in that era. Y'all talking like we were playing against gym teachers and accountants." Garnett went down the list. He named the Hall of Famers Jordan faced: Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Reggie Miller, Gary Payton, Clyde Drexler. He talked about how teams like the Bad Boy Pistons were literally designed to stop Jordan with physical play that would get players ejected in today's game. "You think the competition was weak?" KG's voice was getting louder. "Mike had to get through that to win? He had to face the same teams in the playoffs year after year, and they knew he was getting the ball, and they still couldn't stop him." But here's where it got really personal. Garnett started questioning the motives behind the leaked conversation. Why would LeBron and KD feel the need to tear down Jordan's legacy? And he had a theory. "This is about insecurity," KG said bluntly. When you're secure in your own greatness, you don't need to diminish someone else's. You don't need to rewrite history to make yourself look better. You just let your game speak. The implication was clear. Garnett was suggesting that LeBron and KD were threatened by Jordan's legacy, that they needed to knock him down a peg to elevate their own status in the GOAT conversation. And whether you agree with that take or not, it hit like a bomb. Social media absolutely lost it. Within an hour, multiple hashtags were trending. Team KG, Respect MJ, Defend LeBron. The basketball world split into camps. Older fans and players who grew up watching Jordan rallied behind Garnett. Younger fans and LeBron supporters fired back, saying KG was being a bitter old head who couldn't accept that the game evolved. But the most interesting responses came from other NBA legends. Some stayed quiet, clearly not wanting to get involved in this mess, but others spoke up. Scottie Pippen, never one to miss a chance to defend his legacy, co-signed everything KG said. Charles Barkley went on TV and called the leaked conversation stupid and said both LeBron and KD should apologize. On the flip side, some current players, though notably not many stars, defended LeBron and KD's right to have an opinion. They said the leaked conversation was taken out of context, that it was a private discussion that was never meant to be public, and that people have these debates all the time. And through all of this chaos, LeBron and Kevin Durant? Radio silence. Here's where things got really interesting. Because in the age of social media, when every player has a direct line to millions of fans, silence speaks volumes. LeBron James, who normally isn't shy about defending himself or addressing controversies, went completely dark. No tweets, no Instagram posts, no cryptic quotes or subliminal messages. Nothing. His last social media activity before the leaked audio came out was a congratulations post to someone in late January. And after that, crickets. Kevin Durant, who has a legendary history of engaging with fans and critics on Twitter, sometimes from burner accounts, also went silent. This is the same KD who's gotten into arguments with teenagers on social media at 2 a.m. The same guy who once said he doesn't care what people think and will always speak his mind. But now, when it mattered most, silent. And that silence created a vacuum that got filled with speculation. People started asking, why aren't they responding? If the audio was taken out of context, why not say that? If they stand by what they said, why not own it? According to sources close to both players, and we have to be careful here because none of this has been officially confirmed, their respective teams and PR people told them to lay low. Let it blow over. Don't add fuel to the fire. The thinking was that by staying silent, they'd avoid making the story bigger, and eventually people would move on to the next controversy. But that strategy might have backfired, because in the absence of an official response, people filled in the blanks themselves. Some fans interpreted the silence as guilt, like LeBron and KD knew they crossed a line and didn't have a good defense. Others saw it as them taking the high road, refusing to engage in a back and forth that would only make things worse. The conspiracy theories started flying. Some people claimed there was more audio that hadn't been released yet, that what we heard was just a snippet, and the full conversation was even more damaging. Others suggested that the leak was intentional, that someone in their inner circle wanted this conversation to go public for reasons we don't understand yet. And then there were the business implications. Both LeBron and KD have massive endorsement deals, business ventures, media projects. Their brands are built on being not just great players, but smart basketball minds who respect the game. This controversy threatened that image. You could almost picture their management teams having emergency meetings, trying to figure out damage control. Meanwhile, Kevin Garnett wasn't letting up. He did more podcast episodes, more interviews, continuing to hammer home his point about respect and legacy. He even challenged LeBron and KD to have a public conversation with him about it, face-to-face, no edited audio, no hiding behind screens. If y'all really believe what you said, come on my podcast and let's discuss it, KG said in one episode. I'll fly to wherever you are. We'll sit down, cameras rolling, and we'll have an honest conversation about Mike, about eras, about everything. But this hiding and staying quiet, that ain't it. The challenge went unanswered. And as days turned into weeks, the basketball community started to realize this wasn't going to resolve itself cleanly. There would be no apology, no clarification, no reconciliation, at least not publicly. This beef was going to simmer and potentially poison the well for a long time. From now, when people talk about the tension between basketball generations, when they discuss how social media changed sports discourse, this controversy will come up. The time Kevin Garnett went nuclear on LeBron and KD over MJ disrespect will be a case study in how not to handle legacy debates. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Respect the game. Respect the players who came before you. Respect the difficulty of what everyone at that level has accomplished. Because when you start tearing others down to build yourself up, so where does this leave us? What does this controversy actually mean for basketball, for these players' legacies, and for the eternal GOAT debate? First, let's talk about the immediate damage. LeBron James has spent his entire career carefully crafting his image. He's more than an athlete. He's a businessman, a philanthropist, someone who respects the game's history. This leaked audio, whether it was taken out of context or not, contradicts that image. It makes him look like someone who's so focused on his own legacy that he's willing to tear down others. For Kevin Durant, the damage might actually be less severe because people expect this kind of take from him. KD has always been willing to engage in GOAT debates, to defend his own accomplishments, to push back against critics. But still, being on that audio alongside LeBron associates him with a controversy he probably didn't want. And for Kevin Garnett, he's emerged as the voice of a generation that feels disrespected by today's players and media. Whether you agree with his take or not, he's become the champion of everyone who thinks the 90s era gets unfairly dismissed. His podcast numbers are through the roof. His influence has actually grown from this. But the bigger question is what this means for how we talk about basketball greatness going forward. Because here's the truth. Every generation of players faces this. The guys who played in the 80s dealt with being compared to legends from the 60s and 70s. The 90s stars got compared to the 80s legends. And now, LeBron's generation is being compared to Jordan's era. This is nothing new. What is new is the way social media amplifies these debates and turns them into bitter feuds. What used to be barroom arguments and sports radio discussions are now viral moments that get dissected by millions of people in real time. The leaked conversation, if it's even real and not somehow doctored, which we still don't know for sure, shows that even the greatest players have moments of doubt, jealousy, and insecurity. LeBron has been chasing Jordan's ghost his entire career. Every championship, every MVP, every accolade gets measured against what MJ did. That has to be exhausting. So is it really that surprising that in a private moment he might express frustration about those comparisons? And KD? He's always been in LeBron's shadow despite being one of the most talented scorers we've ever seen. So when he gets pulled into these GOAT conversations, maybe he gets defensive too. But here's what got lost in all the yelling and trending hashtags. None of this changes what any of these players accomplished. Jordan's 6 championships don't disappear because LeBron questioned the competition. LeBron's incredible longevity and all-around game don't get erased because he had a private conversation. KD's unstoppable scoring and championship runs are still part of his legacy. What this controversy really exposed is how fragile these legacy discussions are, how much they depend on perception, on narrative, on who's controlling the story, and how quickly things can spiral when someone says something that challenges the accepted wisdom. The truth? We may never get closure on this. LeBron and KD might never publicly address the leaked audio. Garnett might keep bringing it up for years, and fans will continue to argue about eras, competition levels, and who's really the GOAT until the end of time. But one thing's for sure, this moment will be remembered. Years, everyone loses. The Kevin Garnett versus LeBron and KD situation is far from over, and honestly, it might never be fully resolved. What started as a leaked private conversation turned into a full-blown generational war, with legends picking sides and fans more divided than ever. Whether you think KG was right to call them out or believe he overreacted to a casual discussion, one thing is undeniable. This controversy has changed the conversation around basketball greatness forever. The silence from LeBron and Durant speaks volumes, and their refusal to engage might be the smartest move they could make, or the biggest mistake. Only time will tell how this affects their legacies and whether they'll ever address what really happened in that room. If you want to stay updated on every twist and turn in this drama and other explosive NBA controversies, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because if this situation taught us anything, it's that in today's NBA, the biggest battles don't always happen on the court. So here's my question for you. Was Kevin Garnett justified in going this hard at LeBron and KD, or should he have stayed out of it and let them have their opinion? And more importantly, if that leaked audio is real, do you think it changes how you view LeBron's chase for the GOAT title? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep this conversation going.